It is a Tuesday morning. You are 55 years old. You are sitting at a small kitchen table, holding a slightly chipped ceramic mug, watching the steam rise from your dark roast coffee. It is quiet. The only sound is the faint hum of the refrigerator. Across town, in a sprawling gated suburb, a former colleague of yours is doing the exact same thing. But the similarities end right there. Your colleague is sitting in a custom-built luxury home with marble countertops. There is a $100,000 SUV parked in his driveway, and if you log into his brokerage accounts, he has over $3 million to his name. You, on the other hand, live in a modest three-bedroom house that looks like it belongs in a black and white movie. Your car is 8 years old and has a dent in the rear bumper. Your investment portfolio just recently crossed the $1.5 million mark. By every traditional metric of success, your colleague has won the game. He has double your net worth. He looks the part. He is the millionaire everyone talks about at parties. But as he stares at his phone this morning, his chest is incredibly tight. He is calculating how long that $3 million will actually last if the market drops again. He is looking at his property taxes, his car payments, his country club dues, and his private school tuitions. He is terrified. He cannot afford to stop working. Meanwhile, you take another slow sip of your coffee, and you feel an overwhelming, profound sense of silence. You are completely free. You do not have a single worry in the world. You are retired, and it feels absolutely effortless. How is it possible that the person with half the money has twice the peace of mind? The difference between the two of you did not happen overnight. It was not because you picked a better tech stock or timed the real estate market perfectly. It comes down to a very strange, almost invisible decision you made 25 years ago, a decision to completely ignore the most common advice in personal finance. You decided to put a price tag on yourself. Let us rewind the clock. You are 30 years old. You are working the corporate job and making $60,000 a year. It is a decent living, but it is nothing extraordinary. Like everyone else, you read the financial blogs. You see the articles that tell you to save 15 or 20% of your income. The advice that treats financial progress like a neat little pie chart. But as you look at your older coworkers, you realize there is something fundamentally flawed about percentages. If you save 20%, it automatically means you are giving yourself permission to spend the other 80%. And as your income grows over time, that 80% grows right along with it. It is an automatic escalator for your lifestyle. The more you make, the more you are required to spend just to feel normal. You decide to do something radical. You throw the percentages out the window. Instead, you look at your life, your basic needs, and your actual happiness, and you find a hard number. You calculate exactly what it costs to live a good, comfortable, but entirely unflashy life. Rent for a clean apartment in a safe neighborhood, a reliable used car that gets you from point A to point B, good groceries, a few dinners out with friends every month, a weekend road trip now and then. You add it all up, and you arrive at a specific figure, $45,000 a year. That is your number. That is what it costs to be you. You draw a line in the sand. You decide that no matter what happens, no matter how much money you make in the future, your baseline lifestyle will not cross that line. You have built an invisible ceiling over your life. At age 30, living on $45,000 when you make 60 does not feel like a superpower. After taxes, you are putting away maybe a few $1,000s a year into a basic index fund. It feels painfully slow. It just feels normal. Nobody notices your financial discipline because there is nothing to notice. But this strategy was never about what happens when you are 30. The real magic and the real psychological pain begins 5 years later. You are now 35. You have worked late nights, you have proven your value to the company, and you finally get a major promotion. Your income suddenly jumps to $90,000 a year. This is the moment everyone waits for. This is the moment you are supposed to celebrate by upgrading your life to match your new title. Your colleague, the one with the $3 million today, gets the exact same promotion. The very next week, he trades in his reliable sedan for a brand new luxury SUV on a heavy monthly lease. He moves out of his apartment and buys a large house in a more expensive zip code. His social media is suddenly flooded with pictures of expensive dinners, tailored suits, and lavish weekend getaways. He has upgraded his lifestyle to cost $80,000 a year. He looks incredibly successful. People respect him. And what do? You drive the exact same car to work. You stay in the exact same apartment. You still spend exactly $45,000 a year. The invisible ceiling holds firm. But on the inside, away from the eyes of your friends and family, something monstrous is happening. Your income is $90,000. Your life costs $45,000. After taxes, you suddenly have a cash flow gap of nearly $30,000 a year. You do not buy a luxury watch. You do not buy a boat. You do not upgrade your kitchen cabinets. You take that entire gap, every single dollar of it, and you quietly feed it into your investment accounts. You are buying the market month after month, year after year on pure autopilot. On the surface, you look like a guy whose career has completely stalled. You look like you are losing the status game. People look at your scratched car and your simple clothes, and they assume you are struggling to get by. It stings a little. You are human after all. There are days when you want to walk into a high-end dealership and just buy the shiny thing to prove them all wrong, to show them that you belong. But you remember the math. Your colleague is investing maybe $10,000 a year, barely scraping by on a high income, entirely dependent on his next paycheck to fund his massive $80,000 lifestyle. You are investing 3 times what he is, and your life requires almost nothing to maintain. You are secretly building a fortress, one brick at a time, entirely out of sight. But fortresses take time to build, and the decade that follows is going to test every ounce of your willpower. You are 40 years old. Then 45. Your income climbs to $130,000 a year. You are a senior employee now. You have responsibilities. But outside of the office, you have maintained the exact same footprint in the world. You adjust your baseline slightly for inflation, allowing your life to now cost $55,000 a year. But your cash flow gap, that space between what you earn and what you spend, it has become massive. It is a financial black hole. You are quietly, methodically dumping over $70,000 into the market every single year. You do not touch it. You do not try to time the market. You simply let the automated transfers happen every Friday morning, buying broad index funds while you are sleeping, while you are drinking coffee, while you are working. This phase of your life is called the lonely middle. It is the hardest part of the journey. It is the decade where you have sacrificed the dopamine of spending, but you have not yet reached the ultimate freedom of retiring. There are days when it feels incredibly unfair. You go to a college reunion. You park your aging, dented car in a lot filled with shiny European sedans and luxury electric vehicles. You stand in a crowded room and listen to your old friends talk about their kitchen renovations, their second homes by the lake, and their business class flights to Europe. They look at your simple watch and your off-the-rack suit, and you can see the silent pity in their eyes. They assume your career has flatlined. They assume you are barely scraping by. You feel a sudden, sharp pang of doubt. You have over $800,000 sitting in investment accounts that no one can see. But what is the point of winning the game if the rest of the world thinks you are losing? The true value of your quiet discipline finally reveals itself when you turn 50. The economy takes a brutal, sudden downturn. It is not just a market correction. It is a full-blown recession. Companies freeze hiring. Bonuses evaporate overnight. Rumors of mass layoffs spread through your office like a virus. The atmosphere is suffocating. Your colleague, the one who always upgraded his life with every promotion, is now making $180,000 a year. But his lifestyle costs $160,000 to maintain. He has 2 expensive car loans, a massive mortgage on a house he barely spends time in, country club dues, and private school tuition for his kids. He is heavily leveraged. On a random Thursday afternoon, the layoffs begin. You watch your colleague pace back and forth in the hallway, his face pale, his hands shaking as he holds his phone. He is paralyzed with absolute terror. If he loses his paycheck, his entire world collapses in less than 90 days. The bank will take the house. The cars will be repossessed. His identity, built entirely on consumption, will be shattered. He is entirely at the mercy of his manager, his company, and an economy he cannot control. That evening, you go home and sit at your small kitchen table. You open your laptop and look at your own spreadsheet. The stock market crash has wiped out 20% of your portfolio's value on paper. It should be terrifying. You have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in a matter of weeks. But as you look at your fixed expenses, you realize something profound. Because your lifestyle is permanently locked at $55,000 a year, you are virtually bulletproof. You do not need a six-figure salary to survive. If you lose your job tomorrow, you could take a part-time job at a local hardware store, stock shelves for 20 hours a week, and still comfortably pay every single bill you have. The recession is a tragedy for the people around you. For you, it is merely an inconvenience. You sleep for a solid 8 hours that night. The silence in the middle of the storm teaches you the most valuable lesson of your life. Financial safety is not measured by the total amount of money you have. It is measured by the amount of money you are forced to spend every month just to keep your head above water. A low burn rate is the ultimate financial armor. As the economy slowly recovers over the next few years, you begin to understand the second half of the paradox. The reason why high-income earners struggle to retire. Let us look at the famous 4% rule of retirement. The rule states that you can safely withdraw 4% of your invested assets each year to live on. If your colleague wants to retire and maintain his lavish $160,000 a year lifestyle, he needs to accumulate at least $4 million in investments. Every time he bought a nicer car, every time he expanded his square footage, he pushed his finish line further and further away. He is trapped in a cycle of his own making, forced to work one more year, over and over again simply to feed the monster he created. His high income did not buy his freedom. It bought him golden handcuffs. But your math is completely different. Because you froze your desires decades ago, your finish line never moved. To safely generate $55,000 a year, you only need about $1.4 million. By refusing to upgrade your life, you did not just save money. You actively dragged your retirement date closer to you by decades. You solved the equation not by endlessly increasing the numerator of your wealth, but by ruthlessly controlling the denominator of your desires. Which brings us back to this Tuesday morning. You are 55 years old. The market has recovered, compounded, and quietly pushed your portfolio past the $1.5 million mark. You finish your dark roast coffee. You wash the chipped ceramic mug in the sink. You grab your keys and drive that old dented car to the office one last time. You walk through the glass doors. The office is buzzing with the same anxious energy it always has. People are stressing over deadlines, arguing over promotions, and desperately trying to climb a ladder they do not even want to be on. You walk calmly into your manager's office. You smile, hand in a simple one-page resignation letter, and walk back out. You do not own a yacht. You do not have a private jet or a mansion in the hills. To the outside world, you are just an average person driving an average car back to an average house. But as you step out of the building and feel the warm morning sun on your face, you possess the most exclusive luxury on earth. A luxury that billionaires struggle to attain and high-paid executives dream about in secret. You own the rest of your life. Money has stopped being a source of stress, a tool for status, or a reason to wake up early. It has become a silent, invisible machine in the background, quietly paying your bills and asking for nothing in return. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and for the first time in your adult life, you have absolutely nothing scheduled. 100% of your time now belongs to you. The greatest financial habit is not picking the right stock, finding the perfect real estate deal, or memorizing complex tax codes. It is the quiet daily discipline of deciding that you already have enough. You put a price tag on yourself. And in doing so, you bought your freedom.